Please sit down. Thank you so much. For those of you who've ever seen me give a speech before, they're usually like 6 hours long. So, but because we're going to do a whole panel tonight, we're going to show you a bunch of funny stuff. I'm going to keep this really short. I've been like hiding in my office for the last like 4 years, I guess 6 years. I mean, aside from Victor Crowley, which the fact that we kept that a surprise for you guys, I was just saying to Perry Shen, it was insane that actually worked. And I did that tour, but I haven't been out since then. And then right as I was about to get back out there, then we had that whole, fucking plague. And that ruined the next 2 years. And so it was just getting harder and harder to get back out with people again. And so when Nathan contacted me and said they wanted to give me an award, I was just laughing like an award. And so the joke, I keep texting friends a picture of the Christmas Story lamp saying it's a major award. Which this is much cooler than the lamp. It just means so much to be recognized, especially for more than just the films. I've always tried to make our community a stronger, just better place. And it already was a great place. And I know that's why we all found it and found each other. So to keep this brief, I just want to say, in these current times where we keep sort of being led to think that we all hate each other, and anybody who has a different opinion is evil and wrong, and it's not really like that. And if any community can show everyone that, it's this one. You have people from all over, even just this weekend, people who came from all over the country, all different parts of the country, and we're all here together, and everybody is just the nicest, coolest person you would ever meet. We always say this on the podcast, like even if you go knowing nobody and just make the slightest bit of effort, you're gonna end up making a friend, because we're the freaks. We're the ones who like to see people get dismembered and throw up on themselves and get eaten by wolves and fall off chairlifts and hug Spanish puppets. I don't know what I'm thinking half the time. You guys like it, so it's been working so far. But if there ever was a time to need conventions like this, it's now. And I'm so happy to see you all again. I got to sign for a few hours before this, and it just means so much hearing all your personal stories, what these films mean to you. Things like Yorkie-thon, the podcast, Corona Apocalypse, for those who were part of that at the very beginning of the pandemic. Which was just amazing. For anybody who doesn't know, when the pandemic started, like most people, I'm like, how can I help? And unfortunately, I'm not smart enough to go help doctors and nurses. Like, I can barely do math. And I thought, well, I'll give away everything I've ever made. And so it started in mid-March, I believe. And so every day for 30 days at noon, I would do a live stream and just play one of my films, or episodes of Holliston, Scary Sleepover, Horrified, the short films. I think it started with me reading the book of I Survivor, which I didn't realize was going to be that difficult until I did it. But about 2 weeks into it, Robert Pendergraft, that was basically like his effects reel that you guys just watched, because he did all of it. He said, have you ever looked at the feed in the middle of the night? And it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, streaming something every single day, because nothing had been encoded to stream. I didn't realize that when I announced what I was going to do. So I would stay up all night getting the next day's show ready. And so I looked, and there were people from all over the world that were still talking to each other in the middle of the night. And for a lot of people having to be in lockdown and away from their families and stuff, it was horrible, especially people who suffer from depression, which is a lot of people in our community. And so to see somebody in like the UK freaking out because they're alone and they can't reach anybody, and then 2 other Hatchet fans from Canada talking them down. And I never announced my presence because I didn't want to make the conversation about me, so I would just watch. But just seeing how great people were to each other, it's the thing I'm proudest of with my career. And hearing from the people who put these conventions together, when afterwards they're always like, your fans are so incredible, like you attract such a wonderful element to these things. And that's the thing I'm proudest of. So to anybody in this room who's been inspired by my story, of things that I've done from the films. Your being inspired is all I ever could have wanted. All I ever wanted was to make people happy and make people's days a little bit better, and you've made that possible. I've never had marketing. I've never had like billboards and TV commercials and all the things that the big studio movies get, and yet so many of these things have succeeded beyond my wildest dreams, and that's all thanks to you. So, so I share this with everybody here, and it means so much more than you ever.